You've got the skills, the experience, the drive, but your resume, it's still stuck in just okay territory. Let's fix that today. I'm breaking down the most important resume tips that you need to know for today's job market. We're talking design that works, content that sells your strengths, and strategy that gets you interviews. Whether you're starting fresh or giving your resume a glow up, these tips will help you rise above the competition and finally land the roles that you're aiming for. Let's start with design and format. You want to keep the layout clean and professional. So skip the flashy designs that confuse ATS and annoy recruiters. I'm talking about those very popular two-column layouts, resumes using text boxes to organize information, as well as icons, charts, any graphic detail that is going to replace the actual words on your resume. But don't be afraid to use some conservative color strategically to help guide the eye across the page. Use consistent formatting. That means don't choose more than 2 different fonts. Make sure you're using the same font for all of your headings and then your body. And make sure to use the same bullets throughout your resume as well as the same line spacing. And embrace white space. Instead of cramming everything onto one page, make it easier on the eyes. I cover more about page length for your resume in this video, so you can watch it next for a little more insight into when to use a 1-page resume or a 2-page resume. Another great way to avoid adding another page or to prevent cramming all into too few pages is to add your LinkedIn profile link to your resume's contact information section and direct your resume readers to your LinkedIn profile for more information about your earlier work history, your volunteer experience, or details of specific projects. Now let's break down the content and structure of your resume. An objective statement or beginning header that says summary of qualifications is out. Instead, add a job-specific resume title at the top of your resume. Make it obvious what your target role is. Then revamp that boring, outdated, repetitive resume summary with what I call a branding statement, something that focuses more on the goals of the role than the required skills and experience. I break down what this looks like in this video, so make sure to watch it next if you're needing help with this section of your resume. Now let's talk about keywords. You've likely heard how important keywords are for your resume, but where do they belong? They belong throughout your whole resume, but a great place to put them is on the top third of your resume's first page in areas of expertise or skills section. You're going to want to pull these keywords directly from the job posting to pass applicant tracking software filters when you apply for a job online. But this section also makes it super easy for recruiters to find your strengths quickly in their initial skim. As well as filling your experience section with keywords from the job description, you also want to make sure to focus more on achievements than duties. You've likely heard of the STAR model for answering behavioral interview questions. We're going to take the same principle and reverse it for your resume. Lead with the result, follow up with the action that you took, as well as why it was necessary to build out a really great storytelling experience section on your resume. And finally, the placement for your education section really depends on your career level and overall relevance. Think beginning of your resume, before your experience section if you're a new grad, and after your experience section if you are a more experienced professional. Strategy and personalization is key to an effective resume in today's job market. The first thing you want to make sure you cut from your resume are any vague buzzwords like team player or problem solver. It's important to weave your transferable skills or soft skills in examples throughout your experience section without dropping these generic terms that really don't have much backing them up. So instead of claiming that you have effective communication skills, give a clear example of how you've translated and explained complex technical information to non-technical audiences. It will have such a greater impact. You also want to customize your resume for each and every job application. One-size-fits-all resumes just don't work. So, to personalize your resume for a specific job application, start by looking at the job posting and ask yourself, what are the top goals of this role? What are the required qualifications and top desired skills and abilities? What trait will an ideal candidate have? And what other words and phrases describe the work you would do in this role? As long as your resume answers these questions, you're golden. And don't get overwhelmed with adding in every single skill and ability listed. Aim to narrow down the top 8 skills and experiences needed for the job and just focus on those. I talk more about how to figure out which skills are the most important for your resume in this video, so make sure to watch it next if this is an area you're struggling with. Have any employment gaps? This strategy is for you. If you have a gap in employment or some questionable work history timeline issues, own them and fill them. If you took time off of work to finish a certification or a college degree, then list that in your experience section to fill the gap. Your job title could be area of study student and the employer, the university that you studied at. And then summarize what you learned during that time to help add in some of those keywords that are relevant in your job search. Took a break to care for a family member? List yourself as a stay-at-home parent or a caregiver and summarize the transferable skills like management and communication that you had to do on a day-to-day basis. Here's the bottom line. Your resume isn't just a formality. It's your personal sales pitch. When it's thoughtfully designed, packed with achievements, and tailored to your goals, it works harder for you. My last tip is don't wait for the perfect job to start working on your resume. Make sure it's updated right now. You never know what opportunity could be around the corner, and you don't need to add that extra stress of needing to tailor your resume or update it before you can put your best foot forward. If this video gave you some clarity or maybe a friendly kick in the pants, drop a comment sharing which tip you are going to implement first. And if you liked what you heard and you want more actionable tips to transform your resume from meh to magnetic, then I will drop the link in the video description of my comprehensive resume writing guide. Right now, it is 25 tips for 2025, but I update it every year with a new tip so that your resume writing experience is quicker, informed, and interview winning.